A tough start to the week continues for the Arroyo Seco Saints as the Santa Barbara Foresters make the drive down to the Crown City to take on your Arroyo Seco Saints. Hello, everybody. I am Ryan Madrigal, joined by Stephen Hogenkamp. And yesterday, Stephen, the Saints took a tough loss that stopped their 5-game winning streak against the Conejo Oaks. That game ended 10-8.
Yeah, it definitely was a tough one for the Saints, who were leading at 2-1, then gave up 8 runs in that dreaded 6th inning right there for the Saints. But they really got to bounce back today. Game number 2 of their 6 games in 6 days stretch. So they got to forget about yesterday and really work today against a really tough opponent in the Foresters.
And trying to turn their mindset around will be Kenji Pilares, who's on the bump today. Pilares started off the year hot. His last few starts has kind of tailed off towards the end of those starts.
Yeah, for sure. You know, Kenji Pilares in his first 2 appearances, 5 1/3 innings combined, did not allow a hit. He did allow 1 run. And since then, in those last 2 starts in 5 innings, he's given up 6 runs and 7 hits. So, and the biggest difficulty is him not finding the zone. He's got the stuff and the pitch mix to get batters out. It's just a matter of if he can find the zone or not in this start tonight.
And a familiar foe takes the bump for the Santa Barbara Foresters. It will be the two-way player, Peyton Tolley.
Yeah, Peyton Tolley, it's going to be his 5th start of the year, but his 3rd start against the Saints. And in his previous 2 starts, he'd gone 10 2/3, only allowing 3 runs. And the biggest thing the Saints have got to do tonight is get him out of the game as early as possible. We've seen how good the Foresters' back end of their bullpen can be. If you can get to those middle guys, get Tolley out after 3-4 innings, because he's a big length guy, you can really attack this Foresters offense, this pitching staff, I apologize, and really get out to a quick lead and put them away as early as possible.
Well, we will see what the Arroyo Seco Saints can do against Tolley, but first we will see what this Foresters lineup can do against Pilares. Starting lineups and first pitch when we come back. The national anthem has just concluded, and we are ready for some Arroyo Seco Saints baseball. We mentioned in the precast that Kenji Pilares will take the bump, but here is the lineup that he will face off against. It will be Miguel Santos leading off and playing at shortstop today. Kevin Bazell in the two-hole playing third base, one of the best hitters in the entire CCL. Griffin Everett, Gavin Cash, and Tanner Otremba make up the heart of the order for the Santa Barbara Foresters, with Hunter Ensley out in left, Nate Rombeck, Rylan Charles, and Gianni Horvat rounding out the lineup for the Santa Barbara Foresters. And Steven, what do you expect from the Santa Barbara Foresters lineup today?
You know, it's like you mentioned Kevin Bazell, one of the best hitters in the CCL at a 430 average, but also at the top of the order, Miguel Santos, number 2 in their team in home runs with 3 and 22 RBI. That's leading the team, and that means, you know, if you're a leadoff hitter leading the team in RBI, that bottom half of the order is getting on base a lot. So that's what Pilares has really got to do today, is get the outs when he needs them.
It'll be Miguel Santos leading off as Kenji Pilares rocks and fires as we are underway from Pasadena, California, as Miguel Santos fouls the first pitch straight back.
And mentioning in the beginning, he's really got to work to attack the zone today. Got to limit those walks.
Kenji Pilares peers in for the sign. The second pitch is left upstairs. The count even at 1-1.
One thing to note, a little different starting defensive lineup for the Saints. Jordan Rogers shifting to first. Jacob Sanchez going behind the plate. Off day for Cooper Harris.
That pitch is grounded to the right side. Glove by Drew Cowley. Flipped over to first for the first out of the inning. Nice and easy play for Drew Cowley and a fantastic start for Pilares.
Yeah, for sure. Getting that first out. We saw yesterday that's something the Saints really struggled with, especially the second half of the game. Getting that leadoff runner out. Pilares really, you know, when he's on, he's a really efficient worker. Gets out of innings relatively quickly.
And that's when he's at his best. Those first few starts we saw from Pilares, he was extremely efficient, getting in and out of innings quickly. He's looking to turn it around today. So one down in the top of the first inning, and that brings up Kevin Bazell, one of the best leaders in the CCL we mentioned at the top of the broadcast. Pilares pours in a strike.
Yeah. Foresters getting off with a road trip up to Northern California where Bazell went 7 for 13 with 5 RBI across 3 games.
He brought his average up to 430. Good for second in the entire CCL as that ball is whacked down the line into left field, and it is just foul.
Just a little long strike right there. Bazell this season 1 for 3 against Kenji Pilares. 333 average.
And joining Kevin Bazell in the top 3 in the CCL for average is Miguel Santos, the leadoff hitter for the Foresters.
They pack quite a 1-2 punch right there.
The 0-2 pitch is left outside for ball 1.
First off speed we've seen from Kenji this afternoon so far. It was a good miss right there. You know, didn't leave it over the heart of the plate. You might want to get that height better, keep it lower in the zone, but if he's going to miss, he wants to miss off the plate right there.
The 1-2 delivery. Inside, ball 2. That evens the count at 2-2.
Bazell, as we mentioned, that high average also does not strike out that often. Only 8 strikeouts in 24 games this season. Very tough out here up at the plate.
The 2-2 offering from Pilares is in the dirt. Runs the count full.
So it was another problem the Saints had last night, finishing hitters. They didn't have too much of an issue getting ahead of hitters. It was just a matter of they could put them away quickly, either via the strikeout, ground out, or fly out. The Oaks really stayed in at bats, and Bazell from 0-2 down now to 3-2.
The payoff pitch from Pilares is left upstairs, and Bazell, after falling behind 0-2, has earned himself a 1-out walk.
A really good eye right there. Those last 2 pitches, however, from Pilares, not really close to the zone. You Pitchers, if they're going to throw a ball, they want it to be a competitive pitch, something that starts in the zone and finishes out to look enticing for the hitter.
Certainly was not a competitive pitch, but that brings up the number 3 hitter, Griffin Everett, who's starting behind the plate today. He's another batter hitting over 300 this season for the Foresters. And the first pitch to him misses. He's batting .309 with 11 RBIs. One ball, no strike. Bazell on first. Fouled straight back.
Good hack right there from Everett, just missing that one straight back to the fence right there. He got the fastball he wanted, just could not hit it perfectly, just missing it there. Want to see Kenji maybe locate an off-speed pitch, either this pitch or later in this at-bat.
One ball, one strike. And a beautiful day here in Pasadena. Big swing and a miss. 1-2 the count.
That's a pitch right there that could also set up the off-speed high fastball. You could start an off-speed in that same plane. Real good tunnel right there to fade down in towards the dirt.
1 ball and 2 strikes. And the Southern California man, he checks on Bazell at first. Angie Pilares played 4 years of varsity baseball and basketball at Salesian High School in Boyle Heights, California. Won the 2020 CIF Southern Division. That pitch misses. He had a 1.5 career ERA at Salesian. Two balls and 2 strikes. Checks on over at first. A close play, but he's called safe. In 2021, he played for the Bellingham Bells in the West Coast League. Another close play, but they're going to call him safe yet again. The entire Saints dugout thought Kenji picked off Bazell. They're really keeping a close eye on Bazell at first base.
And Bazell not scared, still getting off really far. He's only 0 for 1 this season, stolen bases, so not the biggest threat.
There goes Bazell. That ball is skied into right field. Blessinger going back on it. He's at the wall, at the track, and he makes the grab. So Griffin Everett gave that ball a ride. But there are now 2 down in the top of the first inning.
Yeah, that ball had serious carry to it, but luckily for Blessinger, he knows this field really well. He's played here most of his life. He's able to get a feel for the wall and make the catch right on the warning track. Big second out right there for Kenji. Doesn't get easier here with Gavin Cash, however. .333 average on the season.
Gavin Cash, top 5 in the entire CCL in home runs.
Tied with Matt Wong with 5.
Does not attack that first pitch as it's left upstairs. Check on Bazell yet again, but he's back safely. Really keeping a close eye on him. We saw him go, but Griffin Everett flew out. He had to retreat back to first base. Second pitch to Cash is in there for a strike.
Yeah, Cash in his NorCal trip, 5 for 13. He did hit 1 home run. Also someone that is incredibly difficult to put away via the strikeout. Only 9 strikeouts in 22 games for the first baseman.
Another fastball upstairs. 2 balls and 1 strike.
So Kenji this inning so far, when he's missing that heater, it's high, a little arm side as well. Really got to make sure to get those fingers above throw downhill through the mitt.
The 2-1 offering from Pilares, but will come after another check on. to Bazell at first.
Bazell's got to be careful over there. You may want to get dirty because it's not that difficult of a tag for Jordan Rogers if he goes up standing.
There have been a few close plays already. Bazell stays put. Cash cuts and rips. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Kenji's definitely got to get that off speed locked in, however, because we saw yesterday it was only a matter of time before opponents timed up the fastball of Saints pitching.
We'll see what Polaris turns to here. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Bazell goes. Cut on and miss. Strike 3. So the first K of the evening for Polaris ends the first inning. When we come back, the Saints get their first crack at Peyton Tolley this evening. Saints ready for their first time around, and it'll be this lineup facing off against Peyton Tolley with Dylan Johnson in the leadoff position and DHing. Drew Calley playing second base, batting second. Kyson Donahue, Matt Wong, and Matt Marlowe rounding out the heart of their order in their usual positions. Jordan Rogers playing first, and Jacob Sanchez, Max Blessinger, and Jeff Bowser rounding out the Saints lineup picked by head coach Aaron Milam. They'll be facing off against Peyton Tolley. And Steven, what do you expect from this Saints lineup today?
Well, once again, another all three lefties for the Saints at that first 3 spots in the order. They're going to be facing a lefty, and however, someone they've faced before. It's going to be the 3rd time that we mentioned that Saints have faced Tolley.
That one shot to the left side, so Dylan Johnson attacking early, and he has earned himself a leadoff single.
Yeah, so what I was going to say is the Saints really need to get off to a quick start, and that's exactly what they need right there. First pitch swinging for Dylan Johnson for the hit.
So Drew Calley coming up to the dish. A veteran player on this Saints roster. Dylan Johnson taking a big lead at first base. Stays put on the first pitch as it's taken low. Drew Calley, a junior from Upland, California. Fouls that second pitch off to the right side.
Yeah, Cowley we're still waiting for him to get into that groove. Once again, 5th year for him with the Saints. Very good hitter. He's still trying to get in that consistent groove that we know.
Leach is out for that one. It's grounded over to the second baseman. They flip over to short, onto first, and it's a double play. So backbreaker for the Saints is after a leadoff single by Dylan Johnson. Drew Calley grounds out into a double play, and suddenly the bases are empty for the number 3 hitter, Kyson Donahue.
Yeah, really good turn up the middle between Horvat and Santos. Quick feed from Horvat at the second base position. wasn't the hardest hit ground ball, so it'd be tough to turn.
The lefty Kyson Donahue takes first pitch outside. Lefty-lefty matchup. As you mentioned it, Stephen, the Saints have seen a ton of Peyton Tolley. 1-0 pitch. In their first strike, a breaking ball. That pitch misses, 2-1. Kyson Donahue, redshirt sophomore out of Honolulu, Hawaii. Playing for the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. Big swing and a miss to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kyson Donahue batting .312 this year. 17 RBIs, 18 walks. Mention how he's cut his strikeout rate down. Still swings and misses a ton as a breaking ball slightly misses.
Yeah, Kyson Donahue has a really good idea of the strike zone, except, that fastball, that swing a little too long for that. He's really got to shorten up, especially when he gets to 2 strikes, to put ball in play a little more often.
Off-speed pitch catches Kyson Donahue looking. So after a leadoff single by Dylan Johnson, Peyton Tolley is able to face the minimum. Through 1, we are still scoreless here as you are listening to the Arroyo Seco Saints Media Network on YouTube. Scoreless tie through 1 inning here in Pasadena, California's Kenji Polares takes the bump for another inning of work. And Steven, you actually faced Kenji in high school.
Yeah, so faced his team of Salesian about 6 times across my freshman, sophomore, and junior year, but faced Kenji as a hitter back in my junior year. He did walk me. However, when I pitched to him, he had a very towering shot to left field that was a couple inches away from being a home run. It ended up being a double or a triple, so I know how it feels, giving up those bombs, especially to someone who came in to pitch later that game. But Kenji really trying to throw up a couple zeros for the Saints here.
Well, at the time, Kenji was committed to UCLA. Now attends Glendale Community College as he faces Tanner Otremba and is behind in the count 2-0. Tanner Otremba from the University of Arizona. Kenji's now behind in the count 3-0. When we have seen Kenji struggle, it has been his command. And early on, he's really leaving that fastball high to hitters.
Yeah, we saw that in that start against the Academy Barons. Really had to labor through the innings he pitched. Gave up 4 walks in just 3 innings. It was that fastball command. he was struggling with him. He's got the velo, sits about low 90s in his fastball.
As he fires in a fastball for strike one to Tanner Otremba, and in that MLB Academy game, he allowed 4 runs in the first frame. That ball shot down the line, and it is fair, so it'll be extra bases for Tanner Otremba as he rounds first and heads to second base, where he puts on the brakes, and it's a leadoff double for Otremba.
Tanner Otremba continuing to hit well against the Saints here. He'll continue. That's what happens as a pitcher falling behind. Hitters can really zero in on one pitch. That's what Otremba did right there.
Otremba was really looking fastball in the 3-1 count, and he got it. Served it into left field, and that brings up Hunter Ensley in an RBI situation. The Foresters are looking to get on top early against the Saints.
Yeah, Ensley's really gone into a groove. He's almost doubled his average going back to June 25th. Now sitting at 373.
Tons of hitters hitting above 300 for the Foresters as he fouls the first pitch back.
And for the Foresters, because they didn't play yesterday and the Caneo Oaks beat the Saints, they took a half-game lead against the Foresters in the standings.
As the standings currently sit, it's the Oaks in first, the Foresters in second, and your Arroyo Seco Saints in third. The Saints right at 500, 10-10. As a fastball is peppered in for strike 2 against Ensley.
The Caneo Oaks also currently leading 6-1 in the bottom of the 6th against the Barons, and the San Luis Obispo Blues and Orange County Riptide game yet to start. 6:35 scheduled first pitch there.
No balls and 2 strikes to Hunter Ensley. Otremba at second. The 0-2 delivery from Pilares is in the dirt. Nicely picked by Jacob Sanchez. One ball, 2 strikes. Ensley at the dish. Swing and a miss on a nasty pitch by Kenji Pilares. So completely fooled Hunter Ensley for the first strikeout of the inning.
Yeah, big first out right there for Pilares. Able to get that first out without Otremba advancing. Inning's still not over. Got to take it one hitter at a time.
It'll be Nate Rombach, who is DHing today for the Foresters. We saw him get hurt the last time the Foresters visited Pasadena. The fastball's in there for strike 1. Came out in a defensive substitution after a ball was fouled off his face mask. So good to see him back in the lineup. Pilares steps off and fakes a throw over to second, forcing Tanner Otremba to slide back into the base. The second pitch to Rombach is taken low. Pilares set at the belt. The 1-1 pitch is the off speed that fools Rombach and is called strike.
Yeah, really important for Kenji to get that off speed working. He's throwing it a lot better this second inning than he did back in the first. That really sets up the high heat. Could get hitters way behind that fastball.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Rombach as Otremba runs. That ball attempted pick in the dirt, but skips away from Jacob Sanchez and allows Otremba to get into third safely.
Yeah, a really good jump right there from Otremba. Just unfortunate for Jacob Sanchez that one's in the dirt. All he could do is try to pick that to have a chance to get him at third. Picked it cleanly. Would have been pretty decent. Would have been a pretty decently close play at third base.
Instead, Otremba sits at third base with one down in the second inning. The 2-2 is whacked into left center field. Going back on it is Wong, and it will split the gap, and it'll be extra bases for Nate Rombach, who holds up at second. So 2 doubles in the inning allow the Foresters to jump out to a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, interesting to see Kenji go to the go to the fastball right there instead of the off speed. You had the open base to play with and 2 more balls also to play with. Maybe try to get him to chase something out of the zone. Rombach sitting fastball there and punished Kenji for that placement. Now the Foresters lead 1-0.
These two teams have played each other very well and have seen a lot of each other. Well, they are familiar foes as Ryland Charles comes up to bat. And the first pitch misses low and away. Ball 1.
Ryland Charles, fastest guy for the Foresters, swiping 11 bags this season, just 15 attempts.
We have seen him in the leadoff position a few times. And today he's batting 8th. Ball's left upstairs, 2-0.
So we see Kenji missing high right now again on that fastball. Pitchers always have so much to worry about on the mound, mechanics-wise. Have a lot of body parts in motion. Got to try to keep it the same at all times.
Rombach takes the lead from second. Pilar is set at the belt. The 2-0 is in there for a strike.
Still got that open base to play with Gianni Hobart on deck with a 9-hole.
We mentioned Pilar is committed to UCLA. Did not end up playing there. Instead, played for the Glendale Community College Vaqueros. Rombach taking a huge lead, skipping around at second. Ends up staying put. That one narrowly misses.
Don't really know where that pitch missed right there. Saw Kenji put his hands up saying, like, what do you want me to do? You want me to just throw it down the middle? Maybe Sanchez set up just a little off and didn't hit the spot, but that pitch looked very good.
That one certainly misses, and it's a 1-out walk to Ryland Charles. So first and second for the Foresters. That brings up Gianni Horvat, the number 9 hitter.
Yeah, not the worst thing for Kenji Pilares. Got the 9 hitter in Horvat here.
He will definitely look to deliver something low. Try to induce a ground ball double play.
Attention California Collegiate League fans, watch the 2022 CCL Showcase game presented by ABDG Wednesday night, July 20th at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Bally Sports TV. The CCL's top players will showcase their talents at the MLB Academy in Compton, California. Pre-game workouts begin at 2:30 p.m. and tickets will be available at the gate. For more information, visit calsummerball.com. Be sure to follow the action on social media using the hashtag CCLBaseball.
Certainly be a good time, and we will see a few players from each of these two teams. As they have played each other extremely well, and we have mentioned as the meeting concludes on the bump with the Southern California product, Kenji Pilares, who when he was 13 years old, he actually visited the Dominican Republic, was able to be mentored and coached by people such as Tommy Lasorda, Bobby Valentine, and Cookie Rojas. Looking to take their mentorship and put it into action and ultimately escape the gem as the Foresters have runners on first and second with 1 out. Spaghetti move by Kenji Pilares.
Really got to be careful there. He almost went home on that one. That could have really been close to be calling a balk.
We actually saw 2 balks last night. Unconventional calls. Haven't seen Andy all day. Excuse me, all season as Gianni Horvat shows bunt and it's unable to pull it back in time. So strike 1 to Horvat.
Yeah, it's going to be Horvat's 8th game of the season. 6 for 23, giving him a 261 average. But still in play decent at a decent clip. Only 3 strikeouts in those 23 at-bats.
Horvat trying to do some damage in the number 9 hole. Another inside move by Pilares. The 0-1 pitch from Pilares is taken in the dirt. Runners advance on a ball that skips in front of Jacob Sanchez. And now the Foresters have runners on second and third, which eliminates the double play, Steven.
Yeah, for sure. And we mentioned how Cooper Harris has the off day today. Exceptional blocker for the Saints. And you just got to remember, Jacob Sanchez, this is not his natural position. He did the opposite transition from going first base to catcher. Normally you see catcher to first base. Sanchez in college, they put him back there.
That one slapped, and it's just foul.
And had RBI written all over that one. Just sliced a little too foul.
Slap the opposite way. Would have been the 3rd extra base hit of the inning for the Foresters, but instead, Horvat has to walk back and is now in a 1-2 hole. Pilares has gotten some lucky breaks early on in this game. A few balls that just landed foul. We'll see if Pilares can capitalize on it. So here's the 1-2 pitch. Slap to the left side. Tough play by Marlowe as he boots it. Headed over to first. And he is out at first, but the Foresters score another run to make it 2-0. A great recovery by Marlowe there, Steven.
Yeah, I was just going to say, really good recovery from Marlowe. Ball jumped up on him. He was able to keep that one in front, and because he bobbled, had no chance to get Rombach going home, and still had the determination to get Horvat out at first. Really good job on Marlowe. Big second out for Kenji.
So Rylan Charles stays put at second on the 5-3 putout. And that flips the lineup over for Miguel Santos, who grounded out on the 3rd pitch of the at-bat. Kenji trying to limit the damage after the Foresters have scored 2 in the 2nd. Here's the first pitch. It's fouled straight back.
Good cut right there from Santos. We've mentioned how good of a hitter he is for this team. 2nd on the team in average with a .415. Just missed that heater right there. Now, 2nd time through the lineup, so they're going to have a little better timing on that heat.
No balls, 1 strike. Off speed. Completely fooled Santos, but it was low. So the evens the count at 1-1.
Yeah, still really good miss right there. Pitchers aren't always trying to throw strikes. They're trying to sequence and set hitters up. That one could set up for later in this at-bat. May go to it again. Really good miss, not hung right there on that slider.
That will be his key pitch if Pilares wants to go deep into this game. And another swing and a miss from Santos. Puts the count at 1 ball and 2 strikes.
We've seen so far in this inning the Arroyo Seco Saints infield a little shifted in the outfield as well a little to the pole side. Jordan Rogers about 30 feet off first base.
See if Pilares can put away Santos. That pitch is skied into left center field. Wong going back on it. He's at the warning track and he makes the catch. But not before the Foresters tag 2 runs off Pilares in the top of the 2nd inning Middle 2. Foresters on top 2-0. Part of the order up for the Arroyo Seco Saints. It'll be the cleanup hitter, Matt Wong. Mentioned hitting for power, hitting for average, and doing it all for the Arroyo Seco Saints, and will likely be showcased in the CCL Showcase game.
Yeah, for sure. Last night, Mr. Huang had a ringing double that got to the wall. What felt like a split second, really ripped the cover off it.
He attacks the first pitch, fouls it straight back. The Saints in the first inning had a leadoff hit by Dylan Johnson, who's immediately cut down on the base paths. Well, immediately cut down as Drew Cali grounded out into a double play, and Kyson Donahue struck out looking, but Matt Wong gets under that pitch and skies it into center field, where Rylan Charles settles under it, and that's the first out of the bottom of the second inning.
Yeah, you said it, just missed that one, got under it. Still trying to get that timing down.
Bring up Matt Marlowe, who's riding a modest 5-game hitting streak. That was stopped a few games ago. Looking to get back on track. He's playing third base today. Takes a first pitch strike.
Totally really working efficiently. Only a 10-pitch first inning. He's already 3 pitches into this inning. He's got an out.
3 pitches into the inning, and now 4 pitches as Matt Marlowe swings and is behind in the count 0-2. The 0-2 pitch is taken slightly outside.
That one did not miss by much. Just off the plate outside. You see him go to the off-speed pitch here.
It is off speed, but it's in the dirt and away to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Head coach Aaron Milam is looking for any which way to plug in Matt Marlowe into the lineup. Today he's at third base. Made a fantastic recovery last inning. Trying to get on here, but he chops it to the left side. That eats up Kevin Bazell at third base. That took a tough hop. We'll see how that one is ruled. And it'll be an E5. So Matt Marlowe will certainly take it, as he's on first base with 1 down in the home half of the second inning.
Yeah, I was going to say, a tough play right there for Bazell over at third. Like you said, tough hop, had a ton of top spin on it. Bounced, got up on him a little quicker than possible. The Saints will definitely take it, though. It brings up Jordan Rogers, tying runner for the Saints.
Jordan Rogers not hitting for a high average this summer, but has provided some clutch hits. So he takes first pitch strike.
Rogers 4 for his last 10.
Certainly heating up, and that's what the Saints need. Another big bat in the lineup.
He's also, in those last 4 hits, brought in 5 runs across those last 3 games.
Overall in the season, hitting .224. 15 RBIs, 1 homer, and 14 walks. As he cuts and misses. Foul tipped in the catcher's mitt, 1-2.
Now, Saints yesterday had a good chunk of swings and misses throughout the game. Just couldn't really hit that fastball. Really want to be on that pitch today. You know, once again, that key of the game, getting Tully out as quick as possible. Don't want to go to that back end of the bullpen.
Rogers swings and fouls it off to the right side to stay alive.
And the Foresters, their game plan most games, even though they got a lot of hitting up and down that lineup, they don't need those 8 or 9 runs because they feel that their pitching is what keeps them in games, that is the reason that they are have been as good as they have been this season.
That back end of the bullpen is something, it's a sight to behold. A lot of velocity in those arms. A lot of guys who can locate pitches. Saints have gotten to them a few times. Really want to head into the later half of the games with the lead, or at least in a close game. As the count is now 2-2.
Yeah, 3.46 team ERA for the Foresters. They've been incredible on the mound. We talked about that back end of the bullpen, but it's that starting pitching as well. They only need 4 or 5 runs to win games.
That one's in the dirt and skips away. Runner advancing to second to throw over. Not in time. A very close play. But Matt Marlowe made a wise decision and read that ball well and advances to second.
Yeah, really good recovery right there at home plate from Gavin Everett. To make that play pretty close, Marlowe hesitated a little when that ball got away.
Count now runs full. Mentioned Rogers, 14 walks on the season. Looking to get on any way he can against Tully. Marlowe was stealing. That ball's grounded to Tully. Fielded cleanly, flipped over to first for the out. So 2 down now in the second inning, but Marlowe advances to third.
Yeah, Rogers couldn't put a good piece of wood on that one. You do get Marlowe to third, putting pressure on Tully and Everett to be clean right there. A pass ball, wild pitch could get the Saints their first run. Remembering back to yesterday, they manufactured their first run. It was just a simple ground out. Max Blessinger, who sits on deck.
Now Jacob Sanchez as he shoots it down the left field line, but foul. Attacking the first pitch. Sanchez with a single homer on the year, but 9 RBIs.
Yeah, Sanchez, June 23rd, sat at a 118 average. He has doubled that. That was up to 250.
Takes the second pitch outside. Guy who's been finding himself more playing time, and similar to Marlowe, another individual where head coach Aaron Milam is finding any which way to get him in the lineup, whether it be at first behind the plate or DHing. That's why baseball clubs really value versatility. Jacob Sanchez provides that. He takes another pitch low and away. Check on if he went around. They say he did.
Ooh, don't know about that one.
That's Dale Gardner at first base.
It's a big call right there. The swing from, instead of 2-1, 1-2.
Jacob Sanchez just got a piece of it to stay alive as he fouls it straight back. Sanchez spending his first time in California. What a time to be here during the summer. He says he's enjoying every moment of it, really cherishing the memories he's making. He's looking to get the Saints on board. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. That one's pieced into left center field, but similar to Wong, Sanchez got under it. So Rylan Charles settles under it to end the inning. So no runs, no hits, 1 left. We head to the 3rd inning, where the Foresters are on top of the Saints 2-0. New pitcher in to relieve Kenji Pilares of his starting duties, and that's Harold Boyce, Steven.
Yeah, Harold Boyce is going to be his third appearance for the Saints this season. First outing went 4 innings of shutout ball against the Riptide, only allowed 1 hit. Against the Foresters, he was cruising first couple innings, but then control lost. Walked 4, gave up 4 against these Foresters. Luckily, the Saints still came out on top in that game. They're going to look to him, only a couple inning outing for Kenji Pilares. They're going to look for Boyce to eat up a chunk of these innings.
You mentioned that the Saints came out on top in that game, but right now the Foresters are on top of the Saints 2-0, and Harold Boyce is in to face the tough part of the order, 2, 3, and 4. The first man he will face is number 4, Kevin Bazell. Second pitch fouled off to the right side. Count now 1 ball and 1 strike.
We saw Kevin Bazell's ability to lay off good pitches. Fell behind 0-2 in his first plate appearance. Worked a walk.
Maybe hitting for a high average, but can also get on base at a high clip via the walk. As an off-speed pitch misses away, 2-1. 2-1 turns to 3-1 now as Kevin Bazell is ahead in the count yet again. Reached in the first inning on a full count. 3-1 pitch is low and away, and Bazell has himself a leadoff walk.
Now batting for the Foresters, catcher number 16.
Not what you want to do to start your outing out of the pen. You want to be able to get outs quickly, get that defense back in the dugout. That was a long second inning for the Saints last inning.
Common baseball adage, nothing good ever comes out of a leadoff walk. We'll see if Harold Boyce can work around it, but it'll be tough as Griffin Everett steps up to the plate.
Everett just missed one in his last at-bat. Sent one to the warning track in right field. It hung up for Max Blessinger.
Would have been his first home run of the season. The second pitch misses low, 1-1. So Bazell with the leadoff walk sits at first base. Everett at the dish. 1 ball and 1 strike. Turns to 2 balls and 1 strike as Harold Boyce is having trouble finding the zone early on.
Yeah, and especially the ability to get ahead of hitters. You really want to get ahead and stay ahead. You hear that phrase from pitching coaches. Don't want to fall behind because, like we mentioned, hitters will zero in on 1 pitch.
He gets under it but fouls it off to the right side and out of play.
Everett only played in 2 games on their Northern California trip. Went 2 for 7 in those. Drove in a couple, raising his average to 309.
Everett, a steady and consistent hitter for the Foresters, trying to keep the line moving in the top of the 3rd inning. As Bazell got things started with the leadoff walk. The 2-2 offering from Boyce is slapped to the right side. Blessinger racing over as it's hooking foul. Blessinger dives but just misses it.
What an attempt right there for Max Blessinger. All out on that one. And, if Boyce is able to retire Everett here, in hindsight, it's a good thing Blessinger doesn't make that catch, because if he does, Kevin Bazell will probably tag up from first base to advance to second base, and then they'd have a runner in scoring position.
We had a chance to speak to Blessinger a few weeks ago. Spoke about his tenacious approach to the game, and he said he's always played like that. It was on full display as he laid out for ball and foul territory. As Boyce gets Everett to ground into a double play as a flip over to first is, not in time. They only get 1. It's a double play ball, but the feed over to first was not in time.
Now batting for the Foresters.
Yeah, grass is really, the balls are really bouncing a lot differently than what we've seen. Another one that kind of jumped up on the field there. Part of that could be the sun beating down on this infield and outfield, and they may not be tracking that ball off the bat as well. We saw last inning from the Foresters a ball that snuck up on Kevin Bazell out there, and that one kind of snuck up on Donahue at short.
So Everett replaces Bazell at first base on the fielder's choice. As Cash attacks the first pitch, sends that one into deep left center field. Wong is out of room, and it's gone. A 2-run blast for Gavin Cash. That's his 6th of the season.
The balls really carry out there to left center field. Cash now claiming the CCL South Division lead in home runs. His 22nd RBI as well. Really good job going the other way. Now Foresters up 4.
So Gavin Cash makes it 4-0, and Tanner Otremba steps up to the dish, who doubled and came around to score last inning. This Foresters lineup doing damage early against the Saints.
Just shows you how leadoff walks can come to hurt you, you know. Even though it wasn't Bazell who walked that came around to score, it was because of that walk that Everett was able to get on first base, and now another run across for the Foresters.
Foresters have put up 2 runs in each of the last 2 innings, including this one. Off-speed pitch gets Otremba to swing and miss, moving the count to 1-2. 1-2 count with 1 down and the base is empty after the Cash home run. Otremba takes the pitch that misses away. Otremba swing and a miss as Harold Boyce records his first strikeout of his outing, and that's the 2nd out of the top of the 3rd inning.
They really located that off speed really well in that at-bat. Starting it off at the right plane, Otremba's way above those swings on both off-speed pitches.
Hunter Ensley now digs in. He takes the first pitch fastball for a strike. Ensley struck out in his first plate appearance. That was after the Tanner Otremba double. This time he rolls over on it over to Donahue. Picks it up, fires over to first. In time to end the inning. But the Foresters tack on 2 more. We head to the middle of the 3rd inning. Foresters are on top 4-0.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please.
Peyton Tolley in for another inning of work, and he has looked great against this Arroyo Seco Saints lineup, Steven.
Yeah, for sure. He's really limiting long at-bats for the Saints. Really efficient and effective. These first two, only 29 pitches.
It'll be Max Blessinger leading off the inning, 8, 9, and 1. Blessinger takes the first pitch fastball on the outer half for a strike. Big swing and a miss from Blessinger. Strike 2. Blessinger's fallen onto some hard times at the plate. Started off the season extremely hot, but has since cooled off. He's hitting .279 on the year. And on 3 pitches, he is retired. So Peyton Tolley absolutely looking the Saints lineup. He's making them look foolish.
Yeah, and in that slump that Blessinger's currently in, it's been the inability to hit the fastball, not timing it up, not really seeing it out of the hands of the pitcher really well lately. It's 2 for his last 17.
Only 2 runners have reached against Peyton Tolley. That was Dylan Johnson in the leadoff single, who was immediately wiped off the base pads due to a Drew Cali double play. And then Matt Marlowe reached on a knee 5. That brings up Jeff Bowser, the number 9 hitter. He's quickly down in the count 0-2.
Yeah, Tolley really pounding the zone so far this third inning. 5 pitches, all 5 strikes so far.
That one misses low and in, excuse me.
Bowser had a hot game back on July 8th against the Riptide. Went 3 for 5 with a couple doubles and a couple RBI in that game as well.
One of those hits was extremely clutch, but he's down on strikes on 4 pitches. So Peyton Tolley mowing down the lineup. It flips the lineup over. Dylan Johnson.
You know, Tolley doesn't have the most overpowering fastball in terms of velocity that we've seen this Forester staff have. It's just his ability to locate anything in any count in any spot.
Dylan Johnson, the only hit recorded against Peyton Tolley today. He attacked the first pitch and shot it the other way for a single. Quickly ahead in the count 1-0. He shoots it the other way this time, but it's straight to Santos, who picks it up, fires over to first, and Peyton Tolley retires the side in order. We head to the top of the 4th inning. The Foresters on top, 4-0. Another inning of work for Harold Boyce after he gave up the 2-run home run in the 3rd inning. He'll face the bottom of the order, 7, 8, and 9. Nate Romback, Ryland Charles, and Gianni Horvat. It's Nate Romback, the DH. Last time up, he doubled, brought home Tanner Tremba, and ultimately came around to score.
Harold Boyce really needing to throw up a 0 in this inning. Very important.
The offense is quiet for the Saints early on, so it's imperative that the pitching staff holds the scoreline where it is, currently 4-0 in favor of the Santa Barbara Foresters. Rombach fouls that one up and out of play. 2-1 the count. Something I've noticed early on, Stephen Harold Boyce falling behind in the count a lot.
Yeah, for sure. You know, the ability to locate that fastball has really been the difference of him, you know, producing outs or not so far in this outing. 'Cause that off-speed's really been working. We see him just pound one in for a strike right there.
The 2-2 pitch, fouled off. Little dribbler that goes to the backstop. And you mentioned how Harold Boyce is looking for a shutdown inning and really looking to come in the bottom half of the order. Don't want to flip it over for the top of the order. He's done a lot of the damage. So another 2-2 pitch is a spinner that misses low. That brings the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Fastball skipped in, which allows Nate Rombach to earn himself a walk. So a leadoff walk to start off the inning yet again, similar to the 3rd inning, Stephen.
Yeah, for sure. Foresters have gotten the leadoff runner on, and now 3 consecutive innings. And the 2 innings prior to getting them on, they have come around to score, albeit Kevin Bazell having the force out at first, but his replacement at first, Griffin Everett, who grounded out, came around to score as well.
The very patient Foresters lineup, as Jacob Sanchez didn't realize that Nate Rombach was stealing. It looks like he threw the ball extremely late, so Rombach is quickly on second base.
Yeah, right there was a perfect delay steal right there. A couple shuffle steps for Rombach, took off, and you normally see that with left-hander batters in the batter's box because Jacob Sanchez can't see the runner over there at first. It's going to have to be up to either Drew Cali or Jordan Rogers to call out the runner right there.
There's a lack of communication from the Saints defense, allowed Nate Rombach to swipe second. That one slapped over to the right side, picked up by Rogers, who takes it himself, but Rombach advances to third, so a productive out for Ryland Charles.
You know, normally we see how aggressive the Saints are on the base paths and are normally controlling that in their game. However, it's been the Foresters early on already swiping their second bag of the game. They've also seen a couple wild pitches from Saints pitchers.
The Foresters really taking advantage of the freebies that head coach Aaron Milam always harps on. They've walked 4 times already. Very patient lineup, and they're taking advantage on the base paths as well. As with 1 out, Rombach stands at third base. The number 9 hitter, Gianni Horvat, who's in a 1-1 count. Boyce working quickly. Causes Horvat to swing and miss on the breaking ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out in the top of the 4th inning. Horvat with a bit of a hesitation, but leaves the ball upstairs.
Yeah, we've seen him in his windup. That first step to the side, he normally takes a little bit of time with that hesitation. Now you see him in that windup.
He's working from the windup with the runner on third. The 2-2 pitch is slapped into center field, dropping quickly, and it's going to get down right in front of Matt Wong. So the Foresters extend their lead to 5-0 in the top of the 4th inning.
Another leadoff walk coming around to score here. Saints have now allowed 3 leadoff runners to score back-to-back-to-back innings.
It flips the lineup over, and Miguel Santos comes up to the dish. Already his 3rd at-bat of the evening. First pitch is upstairs for ball 1. Santos 0 for 2 today. Uncharacteristic of him, given he is top 5 in the league in terms of batting average. Looking to turn his evening around, but the rest of this lineup has picked him up. They've already produced 5 runs through 3 1/3.
Santos right now on a 10-game hitting streak. Brought his average up, which started at 273. That's why he's back at this top of the order.
As he shoots it into center field, Wong ranging to his left, makes the catch on the line for the second out of the inning.
Really good job right there, Matt Wong ranging to his left. He was shifted in a pole shift in that left center, so he had to run a little more for that, and he was still able to catch it in stride. Keep Horvat at first.
Made a tough play look easy, had it ranged to his left, but also battling the sun out in center field as it begins to set over Jackie Robinson Field. So 2 down and Kevin Bazell up. The runner goes. The throw over from Sanchez picked, but not in time. As another stolen base for the Foresters allows the runner to move into scoring position. That was Gianni Horvat.
Already the 3rd stolen base for a Forester here, really controlling the running game early on. That's something that the Saints really pride themselves in. They really control that run game really well. 84 for 94 on the season.
The second pitch is fouled off to the right side and it's out of play. You mentioned the Saints controlling the running game, but they're also able to limit it as Cooper Harris gets the majority of the starts behind the plate. Today it's Jacob Sanchez. We will have an opportunity to speak with Cooper Harris in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Big Coop.
The delivery from Harold Boyce. As he looks on over at Gianni Horvat a few times. Spinner shot to the right side, but it'll hang up for Max Blessinger. And that ends the inning, but the Foresters tack on yet another run. And the Saints offense looks to wake up in the home half of the 4th. You're listening to the Arroyo Seco Saints Media Network on YouTube. Uncharacteristic of the Saints, they have had a lack of offense so far through 3 innings, but it will be the number 2 hitter, Drew Calley, looking to lead things off for the Saints in the home half of the 4th inning.
Yeah, the Foresters, picture-perfect example of adding on. They've scored each of the last 3 innings because they know in these games, when these two teams face each other, it is back and forth all night. They're trying to put away the Saints early.
Lefty-lefty matchup favoring Tolle, who's looked amazing through 3. He has been doing it all for the Foresters this season.
Going back to one of the keys I had for the Saints, getting Tolle out of the game quickly. That's exactly what the Foresters did with Kenji Pilares. Now, albeit Pilares probably only going 3 innings, 4 innings max, but they got him out quick.
Cut and a miss by Drew Calley, and he's down on 3 pitches. So Peyton Tolle really picking up where he left off last inning.
He has now struck out 3 of the last 4 batters.
He struck out 4 overall this evening. Tyson Donahue looking to put a stop to Peyton Tolley's fantastic start to this one. First pitch runs slightly outside for ball one. Only one hit for the Saints through 3 1/3. You mentioned that was Dylan Johnson getting things going on the very first pitch.
Peyton Tolley, not the biggest strikeout guy. He does have a season high of 9 his last start against the Riptide, but last 2 against the Saints, he'd only struck out a combined 6 batters across those 10 1/3. Already got 4 right now.
Donahue's ahead in the count 3-0 with 1 down in the bottom of the 4th inning. Forsters leading the Saints 5-0. 3-0. Donahue was taking all the way. Pours in a fastball for strike 1.
Saints would really need a base runner right here, however it may come. Get some traffic on the base paths to try to drive in a run or 2.
That ball left inside, and Donahue earns himself a walk. Only the 3rd overall base runner for the Saints.
Now batting number 2, center fielder, Matt Wong.
Donahue not the fastest guy, but he can swipe a bag, Steven.
Yeah, we've seen it from him this year. You know, he's got some speed in those legs on the season. 5 for 5. He runs at really smart times, though. It just shows how much of a smart base runner overall he is. How when you don't have the speed, if you have the IQ on base paths, it could get you a base or 2.
Somebody like Chase Utley was never the fastest guy in the MLB, but had the ability to swipe bags given his high IQ as Matt Wong cuts at the first pitch and fouls it off. Matt Wong looking to bring in his collegiate teammate from the University of Hawaii. With 1 down in the bottom of the 4th inning. Wong way out in front. Now behind in the count 0-2.
And just remembering back to the interview we had with Matt Wong talking about his time with Kyson at Hawaii, said that they go way back since 7th grade. Then when they went off to college, when Matt Wong went to the state, went to college in Nevada, they kind of lost touch, but then they linked up again at the University of Hawaii, and now they're here playing summer ball in Southern California.
They're doing big things for Hawaii, but also Arroyo Seco make up the 3 and 4. They're a staple of the Saints lineup. Wong shoots that one into the right center field gap. Ranging over is Otremba, and Donahue's on over to 3rd, and the Saints have them cornered in the home half of the 4th with 1 down.
Loud contact right there from Matt Wong, shooting it the other way into right center field, and going on that smart base running from Donahue's off at the crack of the bat. Really good read from him, and he saw where it was placed. He could swipe the extra bag. A big opportunity here for the Saints to cut into this deficit here.
Amazing 0-2 hitting from Matt Wong. He was behind in the count, shortened up his swing, was able to shoot it the other way. Now Matt Marlowe looking to get things going. He reached on an error back in the 2nd inning. The first time Peyton Tolley has found himself in some trouble.
This time the Saints have had more than one runner on at one instance.
Marlowe attacks the first pitch and fouls it behind the plate. 1-1 the count with 1 down. Saints looking for their first run of this ball game. Peyton Tolley's already induced 1 double play. He could use another right here. 0-1. Taken low, ball 1. Matt Marlowe this season, 228. 2 home runs, 10 RBI. Shoots it to the right side, backhanded by Santos. Flips over to 2nd. That's his only play, and he gets Matt Wong. Looks like he collided with Gianni Horvat at 2nd. Got up hobbling. Now jogging off the field. That would be a big blow for the Saints. We hope he's okay. But the Saints score their first run of this ball game.
A really good recovery over at short by Miguel Santos. Bobbled that ball, still did not hesitate to flip it on over to Horvat. for a big second out to erase that runner. Saints still got a runner on with just Jordan Rogers up.
First pitch taken for a strike by Jordan Rogers. Matt Marlowe on first base. Drew Cali started the sending off with a strikeout. Donahue walked, advanced to third on the single by Matt Wong. That pitch taken low. Matt Wong was cut down on the fielder's choice, but that allowed Kyson Donahue to score. That's where we stand right now with Jordan Rogers at the dish. The scoreline reading 5-1 in favor of the Foresters. Pitch inside. Rogers had to scoot out of the way.
Almost got a piece of him right there. You know, you hear, especially at the lower levels in like high school, dugout yelling "wear it," but as you get up in those, in the competitiveness of play, you know, with pitchers in the high 80s, low 90s, you really don't want hitters to wear that because that could really hurt.
Slap to the right side, and it looks like it will be gloved or scoot through, into right field. So a 2-out single keeps the line moving for the Saints.
Yeah, perfect placement on that ball right there from Jordan Rogers. Even with 2 outs, Gianni Horvat was playing up the middle more in a little of a pull shift. We've seen both teams do that with both their infield and outfield, telling hitters, I dare you to hit the ball the other way, and Jordan Rogers just does just that. Saints got a couple on with 2 outs here.
Jordan Rogers, that ground ball had eyes, was able to reach right field. Now 2 on for Jacob Sanchez, who flew out to center field his last time up. He attacks the first pitch and misses for strike 1.
Just shows how tough Jacob Sanchez is to play in this game. Remembering back to last night, took a fastball off what looked like the jaw. Stayed in last night's game, and he's playing here today. He wants to be on this field here.
Hitting .250 this summer. Always displaying that tenacity and grit on the field. He's looking to come through for the Saints right now. It looks like Tolley's unable to locate that breaking ball. So the count is now 1 ball and 1 strike, with 2 down in the home half of the 4th inning. Big swing and a miss by Sanchez. You could tell he's upset with himself as he chased the fastball up.
Yeah, hesitated a little bit on that one. Didn't give it that full effort. That shows why he's frustrated. He knew he just swung at ball 2, and that big difference, 2-1, now to 1-2.
1-2 pitch from Tolley is way outside. Count even now at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Tolley throws another ball here to get to 3-2. The runners would be in motion because there were 2 outs. Ball in the gap could bring home 2 here.
That will be a huge break for the Saints if they can do that. Right now, Sanchez in the 2-2 count. Shoots it to the left side over to Bazell, who will step on third base to end the inning. But not before the Saints tack on their first run of the ball game. The score is now 5-1 in favor of the Foresters, and you are listening to the Arroyo Seco Saints Media Network on YouTube.
Catcher number 16.
Shit, where is it? Okay.
Mitchell Scott in to pitch for the Arroyo Seco Saints. What do you have on Scott, Steven?
Yeah, Mitchell Scott's going to be his third appearance on the season for the Saints. Appeared in 3 innings, allowing just 1 run. 3 ERA while striking out 2. Saints put up a run last inning, trying to hold them here.
Similar to Harold Boyce, Mitchell Scott coming in to face the tough part of the Foresters' order. It'll be Griffin Everett, Gavin Cash, and Tanner Otremba, 3, 4, and 5. First pitch is upstairs for ball 1.
Foresters have scored each of the last 3 innings. Only scoreless inning that top of the first. They just had 1 base runner in that inning.
1-0 is outside, ball 2.
Didn't look like that one missed by that much.
The 2-0 is cut on and fouled off to the right side for the first strike of the at-bat. Griffin Everett flew out to right field back in the first inning and reached on the fielder's choice in the third. Ultimately came around to score in that third inning. So his third at-bat comes in the 5th. With the Foresters leading the Saints 5-1. Saints tacked on their first run in the bottom of the 4th. Had a lot of traffic in that inning, but only amounted to that single run. We're going to run the count to Griffin Everett. That one's in their first strike to run the count full.
On the CCL South, Caneo Oaks win 9-1 against MLB Academy Barons and now claim sole possession so far of first place. OC Riptide leading the Blues 3-1 in the 4th.
The payoff just got a piece of it to stay alive, did Griffin Everett.
You said it, Ryan. Just got a piece of that. He was a tick away from missing that one completely, and Scott picking up a strikeout here.
Another payoff delivery from Mitchell Scott. That one's pieced into left field, but it'll hang up for Jeffrey Bowser for the first out of the 5th inning.
Big first out right there. First time since the first inning the leadoff batter has been retired.
I was just about to mention that each of the last 2 innings, the Foresters reached on a walk. And then in the second inning, it was a leadoff double from Tanner Otremba to get things started. That one's way inside, nearly got a piece of Gavin Cash, but he was able to spin out of the way. Gavin Cash hit a home run back in the 3rd inning to left center field, showing his opposite field power. He's trying to hit another home run with that swing, but it's a big cut and a miss to even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, good aggressive hack right there ahead in the count, and he got what he wanted, just couldn't put bat to ball right there.
Another off-speed pitch. This time Gavin Cash is caught off guard, and it's a strike.
You have a chance to come to an Arroyo Seco Saints game just listening to that dugout, especially on days when Cooper Harris is on the taking a day off. He is very vocal inside that dugout.
Big swing and a miss to retire Gavin Cash, and Mitchell Scott has retired each of the first 2 batters he has faced.
Yeah, that's the first time the first 2 batters now have been retired for the Foresters. Trying to throw up the first 1, 2, 3 inning here. Give the Saints some confidence. Remember, they were down 9-2 last night. Got it to within 2 runs. Really got to have the urgency to tack on a few to chip away in this 5-1 deficit right now.
The Saints are prone to comebacks, or at least making things interesting late. As you mentioned it, Steven, they did it yesterday, and we've mentioned it a lot. When these 2 teams meet, A lot of comebacks occur.
And the first 4 times they faced each other, they had each blown leads in each of the first 4.
Swing and a miss for the first strike of the at-bat to Tanner Otremba. Two balls, one strike, off speed. And Tanner Otremba takes a ball.
This was a called strike.
3-1 pitch, Otremba fouls it off to the right side.
Scott one out away here from getting that 1-2-3. Don't want to get those 2-out walks here. They're almost as deadly as those leadoff walks.
A payoff pitch. Off speed, grounded over to the right side. Rogers plays it on the hop, flips over to Mitchell Scott, and that ball is in time. And as we mentioned it, Stephen, Mitchell Scott works the first 1-2-3 inning of this ball game for the Arroyo Seco Saints. They look to chip away at the lead as the Foresters still lead the Saints 5-1.
Right fielder, number 4.
For the first time in this ballgame, Peyton Tolley looked vulnerable last inning, Stephen. What did the Saints have to do against him to tack on a few more runs?
They got to keep, putting together some good at-bats. Had that 1-out walk by Kyson Donahue. He's seen lots of pitches in his first 2 at-bats. Matt Wong, got that hit right after. So, stringing together base runners, that's what they need here. Not just getting a hit here and there. They need to get back-to-back, maybe 3 in a row base runners here.
It'll be Max Blessinger leading off for the Saints. He takes a spinner for ball 1. A tough take. Count is 1-1. That ball's in the dirt. Skips to the backstop.
Saw Max Blessinger leg out an infield bunt hit last night. It could be little things like that that could get you back into rhythm. As we mentioned, big slump he's in. Average still at 275, above team average.
2-1 is low and in. Ball 3. And you spoke about a lot of his struggles stemming from his inability to catch up to the fastball.
Yeah, for sure. If you watch him in BP, he doesn't pull the ball too often. He likes going the other way, a little slap hit mentality. But right now, it seems like, in this slump, he's not seeing the ball out of the hands quickly enough.
The 3-1 is taken, and Max thought he had a walk, but it just caught the outside corner, according to the home plate umpire. We've seen the zone expand as the innings have gone on. And here's a payoff. It's shot into straightaway center field, but not deep enough to get out of the ballpark as Rylan Charles makes the catch for the first out of the inning.
Left fielder, number 26, Jeff Bowser.
It'll be Jeff Bowser up for the second time in this ballgame. He struck out back in the 3rd inning. That was when Peyton Tolley recorded the first 2 batters out via the strikeout. He has 4 Ks on the evening. Bowser takes the first pitch for a ball. The 2 straight misses from Tolley. He's been less and less effective as this game has gone on. Back in the 4th inning, Arroyo Seco sent up 6 batters to the plate. It's a big swing and a miss by Jeff Bowser for the first strike of the at-bat.
Yeah, Bowser doesn't get really that consistent playing time. Still came into tonight with an average over 300, so he has the ability to hit. He just hasn't found that consistent playing time. Just a really deep outfield depth for the Saints here.
3 balls and 1 strike to Jeff Bowser, the number 9 hitter, starting in left field today. Little dribbler to the left side. It's going to be a tough play from Bazell. He ends up eating the throw. And Jeff Bowser has himself an infield hit with 1 out in the 5th.
Yeah, it's not the 3-1 hack that Bowser may want, but it's the result he wants. A hit right there, and now we'll see if Dylan Johnson's only seen 3 pitches in his first couple at-bats. He's the ball decent both times. Pieced one in his first at-bat. It's gone the other way so far, so like we mentioned, stringing together hits and base runners for the Saints. That's what they need.
It's always a good sign when your number 9 hitter can get on, set the table for the top of the order, and Dylan Johnson. Bowser's off, running first pitch, low throw. Not in time as it gets into center field. It looks like Jeff Bowser's shaken up.
It looks like he's holding that wrist, that left wrist maybe.
It looks like he got hit in the lower half of his body, Steven. Just a bit shaken up. It's going to take some time to collect himself. It's a very low throw. Not sure. I don't know if the ball got him or on the tag by Horvat. Looks like he's okay. We'll resume play shortly. But on the pitch, it was a strike as Dylan Johnson was swinging. As the crowd claps and commends Jeff Bowser for getting up and staying in this ball game. But a runner in scoring position for the Saints with 1 out. On the top of the order up. The 0-1 pitch from Tolley. Taken outside, ball 1. On the season, Dylan Johnson batting .365, no home runs, but does have 7 RBIs. In a position to record his 8th.
Had that go-ahead RBI last night against the Oaks. Really does a good job hitting the ball the other way. We saw him also do it last week against the Riptide. Uses the entire field, doesn't yank off pitches.
Johnson reaches out for it, shoots it the other way, where Horvat tosses on to first for the 2nd out of the inning. But a productive out as Jeff Bowser is able to advance to 3rd.
And that steal is now bigger as that ground ball could have been a double play right there, even with Johnson's speed. Like you said, another run just 90 feet away. Simple pass ball here. Could give the Saints another run. Drew Cali up.
You mentioned Drew Cali, cleanup hitter for the Oregon Ducks, trying to do what cleanup hitters do. That's drive in runs. That ball's in the dirt, and Jeff Bowser's going to score easily for the 2nd run of the Saints for the Saints this ball game. So it's now 5-2 as they can continue to chip away at the lead.
Yeah, for sure. And because of that stolen base, Jeff Bowser's able to score. So he advanced to 3rd on that ground out from Cali. And like we mentioned, he was just a pass ball, wild pitch away from scoring. Got exactly that. Now the Saints back-to-back innings scoring, trailing 3 now.
Good take by Drew Cali. Runs the count in his favor, 2-1. Cali shoots that one to the left side. It's going to hang up and ultimately go foul and out of play.
Next pitch is going to be the 81st for Peyton Tolley here. What the Saints have done, though we're here in the 5th and Tolley's still going strong, they've worked counts a lot on long at bats since that first inning.
Cali reaches out for it, shoots it into right center field, but it's caught on a run by Tanner Otremba to end the inning. But the Saints tack on yet another run as they only trail by 3 heading into the 6th inning. You're listening to the Arroyo Seco Saints Media Network on YouTube.
Attention.
Hunter Ensley due up as Mitchell Scott is in for another inning of work. He worked the Saints' first 1-2-3 inning of this ball game last inning. What has he been doing well today, Steven?
Yeah, in that first inning, what he really did well is located the zone a lot. Now, had a pretty long inning for just 3 batters, 17 pitches, but only faced the minimum.
First pitch swinging is Hunter Ensley, and he flies it out to Matthew Wong for the first out. So 1 pitch, 1 out.
Yeah, can't ask for anything better than that. Very efficient right there.
That brings up Nate Rombach, who's been on both times. Worked a walk back in the 4th inning and doubled back in the 2nd inning. He's really been the MVP for this Foresters squad so far. And in the bottom of the 6th inning, we will get a chance to speak to Cooper Harris. A rare off day for the big catcher from Wichita State. 1-0 pitch to Nate Rombach is in there for a strike. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out. The spinner is in there for strike 2. Clip the bottom of the zone.
Now ahead in the count, he's got to make his pitch. Don't leave anything up here for Rombach's. Been on base both times.
1-2, heater misses away. Mitchell Scott really using his entire repertoire, Steven.
Yeah, for sure. You know, we saw Kenji Polaris' start. He really mostly attacked with that fastball, and it was because he couldn't locate that fastball, and it's the one he trusts the most.
Mitchell Scott gets Rombach to swing and miss. At the 2nd out of the inning, he has been extremely effective and a welcome addition to the Saints pitching staff.
Yeah, for sure. You know, only a couple appearances for Scott coming into today. They really are liking him early on. Still's only allowed 1 run in 4 2/3 innings.
On the same pitching staff as Stamos, who pitched yesterday. Has been one of the better arms out of the pen for the Saints. Mitchell Scott doing something similar to Stamos as a roller over to Drew Cali is backhanded, flipped over. So 6 up and 6 down for Mitchell Scott, and he is strutting off the mound. The Saints will try to continue to chip away. So new arm to relieve Peyton Tolley. It'll be Jake Faraday. Steven, what do you have on Jake Faraday?
Yeah, Faraday is going to be his 8th appearance. He's appeared in 8 innings for the Foresters, 6.75 ERA, but a very live arm committed to University of Arkansas has reached triple digits. And we've seen pitching here. He's had some scouts in the crowd as well.
We are pleased to be welcomed by regular catcher for the Arroyo Seco Saints, Cooper Harris. Cooper, how are you enjoying your off day?
Oh, you know, man, I'm enjoying it. I mean, it's been fun so far. But, I mean, yeah, so.
That's awesome. And what's your off day routine? Do you know you show up to the stadium to get some work in, or do you really take the day off?
So today I thought I was playing, so and then I got told like about 10 minutes before BP started, and then I was like, okay, whatever. And then I just kind of do my own thing, and so just kind of take everything easy that day. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. A much-deserved off day. It'll be Kyson Donahue, Matt Wong, and Matt Marlowe coming up to the plate. Kyson Donahue looking to get things started for the Arroyo Seco Saints as they continue to chip away at the lead.
Yeah, so Coop, you had that mic'd up opportunity just a bit ago. You know, how was that? You know, have you done that before in high school or?
No, I haven't. So I mean, like that was a dream come true. And like it was so fun to do it. And then like I got told like literally 5 minutes probably before the game that I was getting mic'd up. So I mean, I was amped up to do it. I mean, it was a fun opportunity, no doubt. So.
First pitch by Faraday is poured in for a strike. We see that velocity early on from Jake Faraday. Second pitch of the at-bat to Donahue.
Ooh.
It's fouled straight back.
You know, we talked about the velo for Faraday, so Coop, you know, how do you think you would fare catching something that fast?
I mean, like I've caught guys about this speed, but it's just a matter of fact if they're wild or not. And like with him, he's either really good one day or he's really like sporadic. It's either there. I mean, you get a weak pop fly.
That's a pop-up to left field. Ensley settling under it for the first out of the inning. And what's your approach when a guy really doesn't have his good stuff?
You know, just I mean, just honestly, just probably just sitting on one pitch to hit. I mean, like a guy like this who throws really hard. I mean, like you have to set your sights out further, and so I mean, it's easier to hit that way, but also it kind of bites you in the butt sometimes.
Right.
And so, but
Brings up Matt Wong, who's swinging at the first pitch. See velocity coming out of the hand of Jake Faraday.
You know, Coop, going to catching, you know, Aaron Milam has touted you as probably the best catcher for this Arroyo Seco Saints
I love
program. So how's it feel, you know, getting that recognition and also, you know, being that vocal leader for the
Yeah.
Saints squad?
I mean, like it's an honor to have that with me. So, I mean, like I think catching's my strong suit in baseball, and like I take some pride into it, and like I'm not the most vocal guy like off the field. So I mean, like with baseball, I think it just gives me like that, like the free and easy route, you know, just kind of just to be myself and just, you know, yeah.
You know, you're spending your summer in California. Have you ever visited California prior
I
to coming?
have. So going into my senior year, I played at Long Beach State in the Area Code games, and so I mean it was about a week long. I mean, like it hasn't been about 2 months or so, but
Right.
yeah. I mean, like yeah.
2 down for Matt Marlowe. Matt Marlowe reached on the fielder's choice back in the 4th inning. The 0-1 pitch. As Arlo out in front, they check over to first and say he went around. So 0-2.
So, Coop, you've had a good amount of time with these teammates. And one question that we were thinking of is, you know, if you had to choose one to spend on a deserted island alone with, who would that be?
Deserted island. Yeah, that's tough. I would probably have to go with my roommate, Jordan Rogers. I mean, like he's been my ride or die. I mean, like ever since I've been in college. I mean, we lived with each other our freshman year, and then also this past year, our sophomore year, and then obviously this summer too. I mean, like I've been with them for about almost 3 years now. So I mean, like he's my ride or die with everything. So I love him.
Caught on and missed by Matt Marlowe. Well, Cooper, it was a pleasure having you
Oh yeah, man.
joining
Thank
us
you.
today. Thank you so much. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, man. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Nine and 1 and 2 due up for the Santa Barbara Foresters. It'll be Gianni Horvat, Miguel Santos, and Kevin Bazell facing Mitchell Scott, who has retired the first 6 batters he's faced.
Yeah, for sure. It's gotten the first 2 shutdown innings.
So Gianni Horvat showing bunt. Pitch misses outside, ball 1. Horvat this summer, 6 for 23, good for 260 average. Big swing and a miss on velocity to even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. So Mitchell Scott really pouring those pitches in and pounding the strike zone.
Yeah, for sure. He's found it very consistently. 15 for 25 in strikes.
Off speed hangs up for ball 2. That one's pushed to the right side, and it looks like it will be caught by Drew Cowley for the first out of the inning. So Mitchell Scott has now retired the first 7 batters he has faced.
For sure. The last 9 Foresters have now been sent down in order here.
Top of the 7th inning, 1 out. Now the lineup flips over for Miguel Santos, his 4th plate appearance today. Off speed in for strike 1, so everything working for Mitchell Scott, locating his fastball as well as off speed extremely well. That one rides up and in. Five to 2 ball game. 4th time through the order for the Foresters. They have faced 3 different arms. Started with Kenji Pilaris, who went 2 innings, Harold Boyce, who went 2 innings, and now Mitchell Scott, who has gone 2 1/3. Perfectly placed off-speed pitch for strike 2.
Yeah, what Scott's doing a really good job of is keeping these hitters off balance, dropping that off speed in. Behind in the count, that just shows the faith he has in it.
2-2 pitch. Fastball left upstairs. Now runs the count full. So despite his efficiency, this is the 3rd 3-2 count that Mitchell Scott has found himself in. That one's fouled straight back. Looked like it was a bit elevated, but a perfectly placed fastball.
And that's just set up from that 2-1 off speed pitch that started out where that fastball finished. So good on Scott locating that one. Now trying to maybe pound that fastball lower now.
Another payoff pitch is shot into straightaway center field. Coming in on it is Wong, but it'll fall right in front of Wong. So the first base runner and the first person to reach against Mitchell Scott.
Yeah, that will increase Miguel Santos's hitting streak to now 11 games. First hit in his 4th at-bat. Drop that one in. Wasn't the prettiest hit, but in the scorebook, that is a line drive.
Can't get down on yourself if you're Mitchell Scott. Only the first person to reach against you, and it's Miguel Santos, who is running a 10-game hitting streak coming into this ball game. He's now set to face Kevin Bazell, who attacks the first pitch, grounds it to the left side, but out of play.
And Mitchell Scott out of the stretch, very quick to the plate. It's going to be very hard to swipe a bag on him.
Very quick workers, Mitchell Scott, as you mentioned. He's set. Here's the 0-1. Upstairs, ball 1.
Miguel Santos has attempted 10 stolen bases this season. He's only been successful on just 4 of them. So he doesn't quit when he wants to leave, but just having trouble right now getting those good jumps.
Runner goes. Throw from Sanchez. He is safe. A very close play. And now the Foresters have a runner in scoring position. It was a ball on the pitch, so the 2-1 the count.
First time runner's been in scoring position since that 4th inning. Nate Rombach came around to score.
See how Mitchell Scott fares with the runner in scoring position. Facing some of the more dangerous hitters on this Foresters lineup, as well as the CCL at large. Now 3-1 the count. A rare occurrence in this outing. Mitchell Scott falling behind in the count.
And next pitch is going to be his 40th of the night.
40th pitch from Scott is left upstairs, and now back-to-back batters have reached against Mitchell Scott, and you can see the frustration on the mound.
Yeah, though Scott is exclusively out of the stretch, he's much quicker with runners on out of the stretch. And since that was his first at-bat with a runner on, he really He's going a little too quick going forward and causing that arm to really lag behind. That's why he's missing up right there.
And you know, pitchers oftentimes you'll see that make an adjustment between the windup and the stretch. But as you mentioned, Mitchell Scott exclusively out of the stretch. It's still a transition, keeping or trying to keep a runner close, and now runner swiping a bag. But now 2 runners are on, and Everett attacks the first pitch for strike 1.
That walk does open up the possibility for a double play. Griffin Everett, not the fastest on this Forester squad, being the catcher.
No balls, 1 strike. The hook is left upstairs for ball 1.
You see with that off speed, because he's much quicker to the plate, he's not getting that arm to that throwing spot in time, leaving it up.
That one's fouled back. Mitchell Scott now ahead in the count, 1-2. So Miguel Santos reached on the bloop single to straightaway center field, stole second base, and then Kevin Bazell walked. That's where we are right now with 1 down. And a 1-2 count to the number 3 hitter, Griffin Everett, who's starting behind the plate today. Beautiful sunset here in Pasadena, California, as we're in the top of the 7th inning, and the Foresters are on top 5-2. Fantastic backhanded pick by Jacob Sanchez on a pitch in the dirt. Now evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2 delivery as the runner goes from second. The throw down is way upstairs, and it sails into left field, so it would allow the Foresters to tack on another run. And the score is now 6-2 in favor of Santa Barbara.
Once again, the Foresters really controlling the run game right here. It was a low throw from Scott into Sanchez. He had to pick it, causing him not to get the best grip on the ball, and sailed that one over Matt Marlowe's head. It's a costly run right there, as the Saints were getting back into this game and had only trailed by 3. Now it's back to a 4-run deficit here.
That allowed Bazell to go over to second. He wasn't running on the throw, and that's a strike in there, and that's a strike 3 called, as Griffin Everett thought he had ball 4. The second out of the inning, but just to finish my thought on Bazell, he wasn't running on the throw. On when Miguel Santos was stealing third, but was able to move over to second base on the errant throw by Jacob Sanchez. And the Foresters are really taking advantage of Cooper Harris's day off.
Yeah, for sure. They've stolen all over Jacob Sanchez today. Already 5 on the night.
Big swing and a miss by the number 4 hitter, Gavin Cash.
Cash has been the prime example of a boom or bust hitter tonight. 1 for 3. Only ball he's put in play has been a home run. He's gone down swinging a couple times as well.
Big swing and a miss guy, but it runs into the home runs often. 6 this summer.
Good for number 1 in this CCL South Division. 1 ahead of Saints' own Matt Wong.
Runner on second is Kevin Bazell, who reached on the walk. 1-1 the count to Gavin Cash, the big power hitter. Rolls it over to Drew Cali. Cali tosses it over to first. But the Foresters capitalize on an errant throw by Jacob Sanchez and extend their lead to 4 runs. We get to the home half of the 7th, but first we stretch here at Jackie Robinson Field.
Attention California Collegiate League fans, watch the 2022 CCL Showcase game presented by ABDG Wednesday night on July 20th at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Bally Sports TV. The CCL's top players will showcase their talents at the MLB Academy Field in Compton, California. Pre-game workouts will begin at 2:30 p.m. and you could purchase your tickets at the gate. For more information, visit calsummerball.com and be sure to follow the action on social media using the hashtag CCLBaseball. Now back to the action.
So Jack Faraday in for his second inning of work, retired the side in order on only 11 pitches. While we were speaking to Cooper Harris, something he mentioned is Jake Faraday. Sometimes he has it, sometimes he doesn't. It's all about the control. You know he has the velo. As the first pitch to Jordan Rogers misses low. Be 6, 7, and 8 due up, and if anybody reaches, it'll be Jeff Bowser in the 9-hole before the lineup flips over. First two pitches miss, glove side. 2-0 the count. Rogers is 1 for 2 today. This is his third at-bat. Reached on the single back in the fourth. Before Jacob Sanchez rolled over to third base. Third pitch of the at-bat is in there for a strike. Nothing but fastball so far.
Yeah, really pounding the zone right here.
That one misses, so 3-1 the count.
There is some walk in the game of Jack Faraday. Doesn't allow that many hits. His runs come off the free base paths he gives up.
That one's whipped in there for a strike to run the count full. You could see he does have triple digits in his game.
Yeah, just knowing he has that in his back pocket if he needs to go to it, it's very hard to catch up to that.
3-2 pitch is shot into left field for a leadoff hit by Jordan Rogers.
Perfect approach right there for Jordan Rogers. Knowing Faraday has the velo, knowing that the pitcher's going to supply the power, really short and compact swing, especially with 2 strikes. Just put the ball to the back, good things will happen. Line that one for a leadoff hit.
Brings up Jacob Sanchez in a 6-2 ball game after a leadoff hit by Jordan Rogers.
At least he wasn't out.
Sanchez fouls the first pitch he sees to the right side. Fouls the second pitch he sees off to the left side. So it looks like some of these hitters are trying to catch up to that heat.
Yeah, got to find the middle here. Went foul one way, went foul the other way. Trying to send something back up the middle here. 2 strikes, you really got to, you can't sit on one pitch. You really got to be ready for the fastball and adjust to off speed.
See Jordan Rogers taking a big lead off first. Forster's infield telling Faraday to step off.
Yeah, we saw them do that a ton last night against the Oaks, and we're extremely successful in doing so.
The ball's 2 strikes to Sanchez, is left way upstairs, and that ball is getting to home plate in a hurry. Really has the velocity today.
Yeah, and it's very effortless velo. Whips the ball in there, not looking like he's trying to throw his hardest. Very live arm, and Jake Faraday.
The Arkansas commit delivers the 1-2, and it's swung on and missed by Jacob Sanchez for the first out of the inning.
We saw last night for the Caneo Oaks, Andrew Lucas really brought the heat as well, and they're seeing it with Faraday again. We mentioned the back end of this Forrester's bullpen, one of that piece being Jake Faraday. Wouldn't be surprised if we see Ian Churchill later this game. He really has the Saints number this season.
A lot of shut-down arms for the Foresters.
A big part of that low team ERA coming into a 3.46.
It's Max Blessinger. As he takes strike 1. Rogers staying put, and Max Blessinger completely fooled on the pitch.
A defensive swing there behind 0-1. And we mentioned Max Blessinger struggling a little with the fastball amidst this slump, and Jake Farady's not going to help him out with that one with his speed.
And Jordan Rogers is taking another big lead. The throw back to first. He just gets into the ball, beat him, but Gavin Cash was not able to apply the tag in time.
Yeah, it looked like Cash went for the tag before he got control of the ball. Luckily for the Saints, big break right there. That would erase a big base runner for them.
1-2 count, 1 out and 1 on for the Saints as they trail 6-2. Pitch left upstairs. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And you mentioned Max Blessinger, a bit of an offensive slide. He's really turning to everything he can, changing even his walk-up song.
Yeah, for sure. You know, in baseball, you just got to change it. There's so much that goes into the game.
Another big lead for Jordan Rogers. Obviously hesitant to steal given the velocity that Faraday possesses, but just trying to get in his head, maybe induce a balk.
Yeah, for sure. Or get in his head where he leaves something and Max Blessinger can really hit hard.
2-2 pitch is in there for called strike 3, and Max Blessinger is now 0 for 3 on the game, and that's his second time being shut down on strikes.
Just struggles continue here for Max Blessinger, trying to find any way possible to get on base here.
So number 9 hitter Jeff Bowser. He singled his last time up. That was back in the 5th inning. He takes another fastball down the heart of the plate. Count is 0-1. Bottom 7, there goes Rogers. The throw over from the knees is picked by the shortstop Santos, unable to see where that ball went as Santos looked into center field, perhaps trying to deke the runner Rogers, but Rogers didn't fall for it.
Yeah, it looked like the throw beat Rogers to second, but Santos came in front of the bag. It was too far from Rogers to apply the tag.
Looks like Rogers is going. Faraday throws the ball away, and Rogers will be able to trot home safely. So Rogers went before Faraday delivered the pitch, telling Faraday to step off, but it was too late as Rogers was already there. Faraday, in a panic, delivered the throw over to third, and it was an errant throw, allowing the Saints to score and cut the lead in half.
Yeah, it just shows the aggressive nature of Saints base running this season, and they need it to try to get back into this game. Really manufactured outrun, a couple stolen bases, and then the induced error leads to the run.
Two balls and 1 strike. Delivers another fastball in there, 2-2. Bottom of the order, Jeff Bowser trying to set the table for the top of the order and perhaps cut the leads even more. The Foresters are on top 6-3. 2-2, big swing and a miss. And that does it as Jeff Bowser slams his bat into the ground. But the Saints put another run on the board as Jeff Bowser is barking to a few Santa Barbara Foresters as they walk to the dugout. But we head to the 8th inning. Foresters on top of the Saints 6-3. A new pitcher deployed by head coach Aaron Milam. It'll be Dominic Dorado. Dominic Dorado. Steven, what do you have on Dom?
Yeah, so it's going to be a lefty here for the Saints. They're going to try, here in the top of the 8th, down to their last 6 outs. They're going to go to Dorado here. They trust him a lot. In 10 innings this year, he's just allowed 1 earned run through his first 4 games. Does have some little walk in his game with 4. Got a whip over 1, but has only allowed 2 of those runners to score, just 1 earned. Also got a win on the year. They're going to look for him to shut down inning.
First pitch in there for a strike by Dominic Dorado.
We've seen these two teams in the past get chippy. We saw at the end of that bottom of the 7th, Bowser had some words for Jake Faraday. Faraday barked right back at him. I also saw earlier this season when Drew Cali was thrown out at third to end the game, there was some chippiness between the teams, so lots of energy on both sides. That comes when all their games are so close.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Dorado strikes out Tanner Otremba on 3 pitches for the first out of the inning, and the first K in the books for Dorado. Mitchell Scott ends his game. Only allowed 1 earned run in 3 innings of work. Excuse me, wasn't even earned. It came to score on an error, so only 1 run came across while Mitchell Scott was on the bump. Dorado trying to continue the success put together by Mitchell Scott. And it looks like first pitch swinging is Ensley. Grounds over to Cali, who flips it over to Rogers, and that's the second out of the inning. So extremely efficient, 4 pitches and 2 outs.
Yeah, for sure. That's how Mitchell Scott started, pretty efficiently. And like you said, that 1 run unearned, and that run could come to hurt him in the end of this game. Saints trailing by 3 in those tight games. The smallest mistakes can mean the difference between a win or a loss.
It is certainly a game of inches, and we've harped on it all game, but Santa Barbara Foresters, that back end of the bullpen is no joke. We've seen Faraday already. They have Ian Churchill, and Churchill has pitched a lot against the Saints and has had a ton of success. But first pitch to Rombach is a strike. Dominic Dorado seems to be on his game. A lot of deceptive stuff as that one skips in there. Looks like he got a piece of the umpire. Count even at 1-1. That ball is hammered into straightaway center field, and that's a no doubt about it home run for Nate Rombach. So every time the Saints seem to strike, the Foresters have a response, as the score is now 7-3 in favor of Santa Barbara.
Much needed run right there after the Saints got a little closer back in the bottom half of the 7th. Really trying to put them away here.
So Nate Rombach takes off, sends a ball deep into the night sky. And the second we were talking about Dominic Dorado and his success, Rombach says, I have something to show you. And that's now Rylan Charles up to the plate, the number 8 hitter. We'll see how Dorado responds, and he fires in a pitch low and away for ball 1.
Something that major league teams, especially scouts, look for is how pitchers respond after giving up a home run to the next batter. Especially, if they can record that out, if they're falling behind in counts after, shows that it may have gotten to them. Though that home run at the end of this day, if this score should hold, doesn't mean much. It means a lot to Dorado.
Off speed in there for a strike. So really utilizing his slider. We'll see what he turns to in a 1-2 count. Retired Tanner Otremba via the K. Got Ensley to ground out. Retired those 2 in 4 pitches, and then Rombach took him deep. Fastball in on the hands. Rylan Charles fights it off.
Saints in the bottom of the 8th. They're going to have top of the order due up. Johnson, Cowley, Donahue, all lefties should they face Faraday for a 3rd inning.
1-2 pitch, shot over to the left side, backhanded by Donahue, over to first on a few hops, but it's not in time. So an infield single for Ryland Charles. And after Dorado retired the first two efficiently, the next two have reached.
Yeah, the Foresters, they've had a couple of those little jam shot balls that just find the hole. Remembering back, Miguel Santos had one of those bloopers in the 7th inning, and he came around to score. Dorado gonna try to hold this 4-run deficit here. Keep it where it is.
A lefty. That one's over to Cali. Cali gloves it cleanly, flips it over to first. And that's the 3rd out of the top of the 8th. But the Foresters tack another one on the board thanks to a solo shot by Nate Rombach. You're listening to the Arroyo Seco Saints Media Network on YouTube.
Hey CCL League fans, watch the 2022 CCL Showcase game presented by AVDG Wednesday, July 20th at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Valley Sports TV. The CCL's top players will showcase their amazing talents at the MLB Academy over in Compton, California. Pre-game workouts begin at 2:30 Pacific Time. Tickets will be available at the gate. And for more information, visit calsummerball.com and be sure to follow the action on social media using the hashtag CCL Baseball.
We have a few defensive and pitching changes coming up. It'll be Nick Griffith in for Jake Faraday. We spoke about the back end of the bullpen. What do you have on Griffith?
Yeah, Griffith hasn't appeared in as many games for this Santa Barbara squad. This will be his 6th appearance of the season in those 6 1/3 innings that he's pitched. 5.68 ERA, allowing 4 runs. He only has walked 2 and has struck out 6. He's a lefty that will be facing a minimum of 3 lefties this inning.
And talking about those defensive changes, Josh Stinson is in. He's going into center field, and they're going to move Charles over to right field. That is Ryland Charles as Dylan Johnson grounds over to the first baseman, Cash. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Griffith.
And not what you want if you're the Saints, especially with a new pitcher in. Surprising to see Dylan Johnson swing first pitch, but it's been the case. He's been a really aggressive hitter today. Only seen 7 pitches in his 4 at-bats so far.
And just to close the book on those defensive changes, Josh Stinson in center field. He'll also bat 5th for Tanner Otremba, who's now out of the ball game. So now the number 2 hitter, Drew Cali. Cali 0 for 3 today. Had a 4 for 4 ball game back in Compton a few days ago.
You know what, swinging at that first pitch, and if it results in an out, it does, is that second hitter is almost always going to take. So if a pitcher can pound a strike, they're already ahead 0-1.
Make it 0-2 now. Drew Callie's taking 2 fastballs. We see Griffith. We saw him make his debut for the Foresters back in that ball game that never ended. It ended in a tie, actually.
It was an extremely competitive match.
And Callie grounds it over to the third baseman, and it takes another ugly hop. It ends up in left field. So we'll see how that's ruled. That'll be an E5, the tough air.
Yeah, infielders are getting a lot of tough hops, especially over there on that left side of the infield. We've seen Marlowe take a couple tough hops. We've seen Bazell take a couple that have been ruled errors. Donahue also took one earlier in this game.
That'll be Kyson Donahue coming up to the plate with 1 down in the bottom of the 8th inning. Time's running out for the Saints, and it's go time. Bottom 8 down by 4 runs. And Drew Callie gets blessed, and now Kyson Donahue waves and misses at the first pitch.
Let's see if the Saints can take advantage of this opportunity here that was gifted to them. That error.
0-1 the count. Callie on first, reached on the air. Second pitch misses outside. Donahue reached on a walk back in the 4th inning. That's the only time he's been on base. Outside of that, he struck out in the 1st and flew out in the 6th. He's been a steady hitter this entire season. He's gone into a bit of a mini slump.
He's been walking a lot more. It seems like that approach is a little off. It sometimes seems that maybe looking for that walk instead of looking to try to get on with a hit.
Big swing and a miss, and Donahue is down for the 2nd time via the strikeout. Make that 0 for 3 on the ball game. That's the 2nd out of the 8th. Now his Hawaiian counterpart will come up to the plate, Matt Wong. Matt Wong reached on a single back in the 4th inning. Outside of that, he flew out in the 2nd and grounded out back in the 6th. A runner on first for Matt Wong, the righty. Big cut and a miss, and Griffin is really fooling these hitters, keeping them off balance.
Yeah, the Saints this season have had a lot of trouble against left-handed hitters, or left-handed pitchers, I'll say, and could be that it's a different angle coming out from the pitch that they're really not tracking it as well.
The 0-1 pitch from Griffith just misses outside, wrapped around the plate. 1-1. Oh. Actually, that was a strike. It's 0-2. Nope. A ball, rather. Bit of confusion on the scoreboard. 1-1 the count. Did wrap around the plate. Runner goes. There goes Callie. The throw over. Skipped in there, and a stolen base for Callie. So it's a strike on the pitch. And now Callie swipes the bag. Runner in scoring position with 2 strikes and 2 down.
Saints have had their opportunities this game. Have only been set down in order just 2 of the 7 or now 8 innings. This game, they just haven't been able to cash into those opportunities. I've only gotten more than 1 runner on in just 2 innings.
The 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. So Griffin works around the error. And the Saints are down to their final 3 outs, but we head to the top of the 9th with the Foresters on top of the Saints 7-3. So Dominic Dorado in for another inning of work. In the 9th inning, this game flying by.
As opposed to yesterday, they were 3 hours in the 7th inning. We're not even 3 hours in and in the top of the 9th.
Seems like both of these teams have some dinner plans, perhaps some croissants with fruit. So the 0-1. A 1 pitch after fouled it off to the right side.
Wishing a special happy birthday, Jack Porter of the Saints. Pitched last night for them.
1-1.
23rd birthday for Porter.
Misses outside. It's Miguel Santos, the top of the order for the Santa Barbara Foresters. That one's grounded over to the left side, gloved by Marlowe over to first. A high throw, but Rogers able to stretch and make the out. So 1 up and 1 down. Dominic Dorado, Mitchell Scott, the bright spots of the Saints pitching staff so far.
Yeah, for sure. And that was also a really good play by Jordan Rogers, keeping his foot on. But like you said, Dorado and Mitchell Scott have given the Saints innings. They've only given up 2 runs across 4 1/3 combined. You know, that one to Scott was not an earned run. If it wasn't for the error from Jacob Sanchez, that run would not have scored.
So first pitch swinging is Kevin Bazell. Cowley fires it over to Rogers for the second out of the inning. 2 up and 2 down.
You know, for both sides, I've had a lot of 4-3 putouts in my book tonight. Lots of balls hit both to Drew Cowley for the Saints, and then also over to Gianni Horvat for the Foresters.
The number 3 hitter, Griffin Everett, coming up to the dish. This is his 5th plate appearance. Santa Barbara Foresters have put a lot of runners on the base paths. Scored 7 runs. Scored 7 runs on 7 hits. Also committed 3 errors defensively. Combating that is the Saints' 3 runs on 5 hits with 1 error. Second pitch is fouled straight back to even the count.
Dorado trying to give his squad one final chance, trying to keep this a 4-run difference here. We've mentioned Saints have some late inning magic in them. They've shown this season they can really turn a game around and make it a lot more competitive than you may have thought.
And if they want to do that, it's imperative that Dorado shuts them down right here, especially the number 3 hitter, Griffin Everett. Two balls and 1 strike with 2 outs in the 9th. Fastball runs up high. Three balls and 1 strike to the number 3 hitter, Everett. Misses low and in, so a 2-out walk for the Foresters.
Dorado cannot let that come to bite you here with Gavin Cash, who did send one out back in the 3rd inning for a 2-run bomb.
You mentioned it, Gavin Cash is the definition of swing and miss hitter, but he does run into a lot of home runs, leading the CCL South. Throw over to first. Everett is back in time. Last time up, Gavin Cash grounded out to guess who, Steven?
Yeah, Drew Cowley, a 4-3 putout. We've seen a lot of those, mostly on the Saints side. They've hit a lot over to Gianni Horvat. Interesting zone we've seen from home plate umpire. It's sometimes he's giving that outer half, sometimes he's not. It looks like maybe Jacob Sanchez didn't receive that one as well as you may have hoped.
That one shot into deep left field. Going in on it is Bowser to make the catch, and that ends the top of the ninth. So the Saints down to their final 3 outs, and they're looking to rally. You're listening to the Arroyo Seco Saints Media Network on YouTube. So Nick Griffin in for another inning of work, looking to shut the door and tie a bow on this one as the Foresters are on top of the Saints 7-3. A non-save opportunity, but Griffin in for his second inning.
Tie a bow. I don't think I've heard that phrase before. I've heard shut the door. That's a new one I got to incorporate.
I saw you nodding. I saw you.
I got to incorporate that one. There are some defensive changes for the Foresters. Austin Strassener will be coming in for Kevin Bazell, but he'll be going to second base, and the second baseman, Gianni Horvat will be going from second to third.
First pitch to Matt Marlowe misses low, and last inning, Nick Griffin retired the side on retired the Saints. Not in order, but Drew Cali reached on an error. But outside of that, Griffin looked solid. Struck out 2, Donahue and Wong, the 3 and 4 hitters for the Saints. Look for him to work quickly in this one. As he steps off right as I say that. But 1-0 the count to Matt Marlowe.
Yeah, if the Saints want a chance here, they're going to have to get that leadoff runner on in Matt Marlowe.
Saints need 4 to tie, 5 to win. Big swing and a miss from Marlowe. Saints have yet to walk off this season. They have been walked off on and have a few extra inning games under their belt. Of course, the win against the Riptide and then the tie against the Foresters. Good take by Marlowe, runs the count to 2-1.
And before the last time these two teams faced, the previous 5 times they played, no game had been separated by more than 3 runs. This game now, a 4-run lead for the Foresters. Be their biggest win against the Saints.
Fouled off by Marlowe, 2-2 the count. Marlowe, an incredibly steady hitter for the Saints. In a 7-3 ball game, Marlowe trying to set the table for Jordan Rogers and then Jacob Sanchez. Left upstairs, the count is now full.
If you're Griffin, really want to attack hitters leading by 4. You don't want to give them free opportunities to score Want to force Marlowe to put the ball in play, and if you're Matt Marlowe, got to be looking for a hit here. Don't want to leave the call up to the umpire.
3-2 pitch is taken for strike 3 right as you say that. That is the first out of the 9th inning.
Had to really freeze Marlowe. That pitch, like he said, that one caught a ton of the plate.
According to my count, the Saints have struck out 11 times today. It's now Jordan Rogers up to the plate as Churchill fires in a fastball that catches the bottom of the zone for strike 1. Excuse me, Griffin. Churchill and Griffin share similar statures, have a similar presence on the mound, and both fire in fastballs at a high velocity.
And if you're the Foresters, you got to feel lucky if you can get out of this with a win. And Savian, Churchill, and Proctor, your late inning guys, they'll face the Saints tomorrow in Santa Barbara.
Big swing and a miss by Jordan Rogers, unable to catch up on the fastball. So 0-2 the count. Jordan Rogers reached base safely twice, both on singles in the 7th and in the 4th. The 0-2 pitch swung on and missed strike 3, and the Saints are down to their final out.
That's 4 consecutive Saints to strike out here going back to last inning. Not looking good here for them. You know, they had won 5 in a row for a season high to bring themselves above 500, but now 1 out away from going back down below 500 here.
Mentioned it, Steven, on the verge of losing 2 straight. Both at home. You want to protect your home turf, but the Saints have been unable to do that since the 5-game winning streak. First pitch is left upstairs for ball 1.
Yeah, but, you know, at the end of the day, they face 2 very tough opponents in the Foresters and the Caneo Oaks, 2 of the top teams in the CCL South.
Those 2 teams are battling it out for first place. And you mentioned that the Oaks won earlier, and Jacob Sanchez pieces that one to straightaway center field, back on the wall, and it is caught by Stinson in center field to end the game. And so the Saints go down in order in the 9th inning and fall to the Santa Barbara Foresters 7-3.
You know, I think at the end of the day, the biggest thing is that the Saints didn't get that shutdown inning on the pitching side when they wanted. Fell down early 2-0. Then it was compounded by another 2-run inning for the Foresters. The Saints started to claw their way back. It was at one point 6-3. They were 5-3, sorry. They were really close to inching for that, and they just could not produce, could not string together some hits, and it'll be a tough one to swallow, but they'll have a revenge game tomorrow against the Foresters when they travel up to Santa Barbara.
You mentioned it. It was a valiant effort by the Saints, but the Santa Barbara Foresters scored 7 runs on 7 hits, and the Saints a measly 3 runs on 5 hits. So for Stephen Hogenkamp, I'm Ryan Madrigal saying so long from Jackie Robinson Field as the Saints fall to the Foresters 7-3. You're listening to the Arroyo Seco Saints Media Network on YouTube.